Kick-ass confidence for the woman who wants more passion, power, and personal style. Hello, beautifuls, and welcome back to Kick-Ass Confidence. I'm Linda, your confidence coach and your host, and today we are talking about part 2 of the 12 characteristics of a confident woman. This is not a be-all and end-all list. It's not an exhaustive list. It is just a list that I have put together, having worked with and studied women for many years now. That's my privilege. I get to do that. I get to work with amazing, incredible women of all shapes, sizes, cultures, backgrounds, visions, professions, and lifestyles. And what I've got here is numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8 of what are the common characteristics that I see confident women sharing. What are these things that they have in common? Because there are many. And of them, this number 5 is so, I love that it's landed on our agenda today, because just recently, this past weekend, we had the amazing privilege to watch the opening ceremony of the Olympics in Paris, France, 2024, right? The minute that you say that, oh my gosh, controversy breaks out. And why is it controversial? It doesn't have to be. The only time that something is controversial is when there are people who are not tolerant, not okay, not accommodating, not accepting of other people who are different than them, who dress, talk, eat, walk, and behave differently to them. Because guess at what is number 5 of our list of 12 common traits? It is a confident woman activates her faith. What does that mean? She activates her faith. Not she has faith. She activates her faith, because doesn't the good book say that prayer is powerful, but faith without action is dead, right? You can pray and talk and what as much as you want, but faith without action is dead. So she activates her faith. That is at number 5. And let me just drop this in here for a minute. Thank you that we can talk about our faith. Thank you that we can be women who've got so much in common, because we do. We're stronger together. We have far more in common than we do in conflict. Whether you believe in the creator of the universe, as I do, I believe in his son, Yeshua. That is my faith, so that makes me a Christian. Some of you will believe in something very different, or maybe the same. If you're Jewish, you know, we serve the same God. We serve the God of Israel. It's always interesting and a little bit amusing to me that Christians will talk about how Jews are on the wrong path. I mean, not is that just arrogant, but we serve the same God. Isn't that interesting? So let's go here for a minute, okay? A confident woman doesn't get defensive and easily offended and all shaken and shook up when something or someone is different. Now let's go to the recent opening of the Olympics in Paris, France, 2024, just this last weekend, where I saw an incredible display of excellence on so many different levels, creatively and with dance and with culture and with expression, with fashion, with color. That they took it out of the stadium onto the river was amazing, a bold move, and, you know, no risk, no reward. I think they did a phenomenal job. Now, let's talk about acting our faith. A confident woman activates her faith. What does that mean? It means that when something or someone does something that is very different to her faith, or maybe appears, is perceived to be in opposition to her faith, she doesn't come undone. She doesn't have a meltdown. She doesn't get onto social media and name and shame and blame and attack the person or the people or the country that is doing something that appears to oppose her faith. Now, what was it? It was the appearance of the Last Supper that was depicted. I mean, if you haven't watched it, you need to go and watch a rerun of it. I mean, unless you're living under a rock, you will know that the Christian world, remember, I am a Christian, that the Christian world, most of them, not all of them, went a little bit apeshit on this. And again, remember, a confident woman who knows who she is grounded in who she is, whose she is, what she believes in, and also knows that, thank the Lord, she doesn't carry the burden of being judged of those who do something very different that she thinks is a little bit weird, a little bit strange. And she also knows that her God doesn't need defending. That is for sure what I believe. My faith Not religion, by the way. Religion is a man-made thing with a list of boxes that you've got to tick on a daily basis, and you've got to go to church. And going to church doesn't make you faithful. Having a relationship with your Savior, with your Creator, who that is to you, creates a faith. It's the relationship. It's not that which you do. And in my faith, I believe that one of the biggest calls to action, if not the biggest call to action at the heart of Christianity, is to love. To love and to build up and to be passionately for your faith without being against others. Interesting. So you can take a stand for the right things. You can be passionately for and be an advocate for your faith and those values and those principles that surround it. You can take a stand and speak up and speak out for those things without hating another person. Isn't it easy to love someone who is like you? Isn't it easy to love someone who loves you? But what do we do? What are we called to do when there are those who are not like us, who seem to come against us? You know the answer. If you're a Christian, you know the answer. And it is to love. And then I've seen so much social media outrage, backlash, furor. Why do you think people don't want to go to church? Including Christians, by the way, because they're so sick and tired of being judged by Christians. And I used to be one of those people. I actually left a church a couple of times. I'm so tired of having to gird myself up in the morning, strengthen myself with everything that I've got, including prayer, and walk into the front doors of church because boy, do I know I'm going to be judged. In fact, I feel the tangible weight of the judgment. Isn't that sad? But it is what it is. We're human beings. And so does that keep me from church? No. But it for sure makes me very discerning and prayerful in terms of where I find an equally yoked community, where I feel like I belong and where I can add value and where I can receive the love and the word. I go for the word. I go for the teaching. I go for the fellowship. Anyway, let's stay on point here. So if a confident woman activates her faith, number one, I don't believe that my God needs defending. Number two, he's the judge, not me. He said to me, Linda, don't cast judgment lest you too be judged. I'm like, oh, okay. And he also says, Linda, so she with the first, or he with the first stone, he with no sin cast the first stone. Remember, you know these stories, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you have no sin, go ahead and cast a stone. Go ahead and judge. However, it still does say, don't judge lest ye be judged, right? So look at this backlash, this outrage, this angry. You're allowed to feel angry. Human nature is allowed to feel angry. You're allowed to feel sad or mad or passionate or crazy, or you're allowed to feel those things. You're allowed to feel afraid, by the way. It says be of courage. It doesn't say don't feel afraid. You're allowed to feel these things, but do not act in that anger. You need to act in love. It's very clear. There is no gray around this. There is no fence on this one. It's very clear. You can feel angry, but do not act in anger. Act in love. Does it mean that you've got to agree with what everyone does? Don't be silly. Of course not. Only a fool would say, okay, so now I've got to be deaf and dumb and blind and be a sheep and just go along. Don't be ridiculous. Grow up, okay? That is not what anybody is saying. But I'm saying this. A woman of confidence whose faith is rooted and grounded on the rock that is the creator of my universe, of my life. If I truly am rooted in a rock solid manner on not on shaky ground, but on rocky ground, that I am on the rock with my creator, then the storms and the seas and the waves that come around me are not going to shake me. They're not going to make me shout and scream and cry. They're not going to make some things that happen in life, of course, are going to make me angry, and I will speak up and speak out because your silence is agreement. I will rather stand alone and stand for what I believe in, speaking out for that, than stand with the crowd just to be with the crowd. I won't do that. So you are allowed to feel angry. But then you got to stop and think, So how am I going to behave now? I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling like they did depict that setup as the Last Supper. I feel like they're mocking my faith. I feel, you're allowed to feel those things. Number one, how do you know the heart of the man or the people who were the artistic directors and the production team behind that? Do you believe and do you know for a fact, having met with them, had a conversation with them, interviewed them, discussed it with them, that they actually went out to intentionally mock your faith? I think maybe, my love, maybe you think you think too much of yourself. Maybe they didn't put on this whole production with you in mind. Maybe this is just who they are. Maybe they see that Leonardo da Vinci painting as something different than what you see it. Maybe they weren't thinking about you and your faith and your religion the whole time when they were preparing for this opening ceremony. It's quite arrogant, actually, to see Christians responding this way, saying, this is what they're doing. Let's say that they were, all right? Let's say that they were going out to mock your faith. You have made it so easy. If you have outraged and backlashed and attacked them back, you've made it so easy for them to sit back and go, that wasn't hard. Look how they react. Look at the true heart of the Christian, where they're supposed to be loving. And you can say, I don't believe in what you're doing. I'm not in agreement with it. But let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something, my sister. I will love you more than anybody has loved you. Because what did Yeshua do? Yep. And you can give all of those stories. He hung out with the taxpayers and the prostitutes. And you know the whole story. But if you are now backlashing, I am never going to watch the Olympics. Don't let me catching you eating a croissant and carrying your Yves Saint Laurent bag and putting on some Christian Dior lipstick, okay? If you are so mad and angry with the French right now, and you don't want nothing to do with them because they're, well then, don't you be buying any French fashion, because that then is going to be a little bit duplicitous, if to say the least. That if you're wearing Yves Saint Laurent, you've got the Christian Dior and everything else and the Chanel and whatever else, then, my dear, you're an easy hypocrite to highlight. Now, if this is stinging, good, because I'm not here to tickle your ears. I'm here to talk about confidence and how self-confidence is something, a muscle that you build upon the gift that is given to you, which is your self-esteem. Your value, your self-esteem, your identity is the rock bed, that's your faith, upon which your self-confidence is built. Self-confidence is essential. The world is looking for confident, kind, successful, faithful women to do business and to do life with. And that's you. But it depends. Easily offended people are easy to control. I'm going to say that again, and I need to find out where I first read that. People who are easy to offend are easy to control. Let's say once again, like I said just now, that France did go out to offend and mock the Christian faith. You made it so easy for them to go, see what I told you? Beneath all that pious, going to church, pretty, hey brother, love you, bless you, God bless you, exterior is actually an angry, awful, hateful heart. Look how quickly and angrily half that whole Christian community came back at us. And in fact, you don't even know the heart of the man who put that together. You made an assumption, you lashed out, and that is the very thing that you are called not to do. Again, if this is stinging, I'm glad. Because if it's not stinging, there's no growth. When I feel stings, and I often do when I'm in accountability with my coach or in my community or in my church, and if it stings, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is something that I've got to go and spend some time on, and I've got to go and work on it. I've got to improve in that area. So, characteristic number 5. A confident woman activates her faith. She looks inward first and she goes, hang on a second. Why am I feeling so offended? Why am I feeling so angry right now? And what am I called to do about it? Because you can think and feel all you like, but it is your action that is the fruit that the world sees. You talk about fruit all the time. You talk about the Great Commission, about converting. Listen, it is your love. It is your confident love that is going to be the fruit that has the most impact on the world around you. And don't be fooled that there is another way about it. It is how you love. It is when the chips are down, when you're under pressure, that is when character is revealed. That is when your faith and your true confidence in your faith is revealed. Drop your judgment. Drop your easy to offend nature. It is such a waste of time. A confident woman doesn't waste her time on that. You can disagree. You can feel like, oh my gosh, let's say that they did come out against us and mock our faith so blatantly. What now? Love. You're called to love. You're called to the next person. Next time you bump into a French person, wherever you're living right now, wherever you are. And if you haven't freaking been to France, you better get on a plane and go. Paris is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's absolutely gorgeous. You want to go to France. And if you're like, no way, never, well, this message is for you. Because then you are not a true, you don't have confidence in your faith. There's no way that you can. If it's so easy to offend you and you don't go to a whole country and you're not going to buy their stuff and you're easy to offend and therefore you are easy to control. Drop your judgment. Have faith in your Creator. Have faith. He will have his vengeance. He is the judge. You are released of the burden of being judged. Nobody asked you to approve of or condone the opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympics. Just who do you think you are? That is a question that you should ask yourself. Who exactly is it that you think that you are? That you've got to defend your God and you've got to... No, friend. No, I'm going to move on to point number 6 here, but I'm going to be very, very straight. And you are so welcome to give me your feedback. You are so welcome to ask questions. You are so welcome to engage with us here on this conversation, on this topic. It's easy to hate for hate. It's easy an eye for an eye. It's easy to lash back if you feel someone's lashed at you. It is not easy to stand strong and go, hey, I'm not in agreement with what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing you say, but I can tell you this, that I'm going to love you better than anybody's loved you. In fact, I'm going to be the person most different to you based on what I'm seeing and what I'm learning here. Based on our conversation, I stand strong. My call to action and my faith is to love my God and his people. And I'm going to love you. I don't get to judge you. Do I agree with it? Hell no. In fact, I don't. Here's my opinion. But let me tell you something. I'm for you. I believe in you. I support your nation. I wish you well. And right now I speak a blessing over you. That is what a confident woman does. You can be passionate. You can have an opinion. It is not mutually exclusive to speak up and be passionate and then not be highly offended. Okay, so learn how to do both in parallel. Characteristic number 6. A confident woman always invests in herself. Always. She is under training, under accountability. She submits herself to authority and to leadership to better herself, both in her personal life and in her business life. She knows that if she flocks with birds of a feather, with equally yoked and like-minded people with a growth mindset, then not only is she going to be happier and more fulfilled, but she will be better able and more empowered and equipped to add value to her corner of the world. There are people with a growth mindset and people without a growth mindset. The latter is those who like to coach from the couch. They never take risks. They don't put their neck on a block, yet they are the loudest when it comes to having opinions about what everybody else is doing. You know the kind, you've got them in your life, so do I. We all do. Some of them are friends, some of them are family, some of them are even clients. But you have got to make sure that you are always investing in yourself. So we want to be strong and fit and healthy. Does it mean that sometimes you won't pick up weight? No, of course not. But it means that you won't wait for the weight. You continue to get up, dress up, be that bold light on a hill. You get your butt back in gym or out there walking, and you make sure that you get to being fit. Rather than focusing on what the scale says, it's about be fit. It's about longevity. It's about be strong. For those around you, for your kids, your grandkids, right? I know if I just ate what I want to eat, listen, I've got one of the biggest appetites that I know. In fact, probably as a woman, I have the biggest appetite of any woman that I know. I always have had. It just is what it is. It is not easy to manage, but I need to manage it. Otherwise, I'll be rolling around, not able to get out the front door. Okay, so you have to invest in yourself by being strong, by being fit, mentally, emotionally, physically. You want to make sure that you are in a community where there is accountability, where there is expert mentorship that is holding you to a higher standard. That is what a confident woman does, because there is where you'll find the tools and the empowering and the equipping, the tools that you need to walk away with every day, every week, or every month, or every year, to go and live the life that you want to live, to go and be the person that you want to be. That's how you do it. You invest in yourself. And those three things that need investing are your time, your money, and your effort, or your muscle. Your time, your money, and your muscle. Nothing of true value that lasts the long term comes without you investing your time, your money, and your muscle. Number 7, a confident woman dresses well. Of course she does. Why? She understands the science behind enclothed cognition. She understands that what we wear, from the color to the style to the in everything, has a direct and powerful impact, not just on how others perceive her, but on how she perceives herself. She understands that enclothed cognition means that the clothes that she chooses to put on her body actually will influence the decisions she makes throughout her whole day. She understands the power of first impressions. She understands that we all as human beings have the 7 metacognitives that I have referred to on a number of occasions. It's in my coaching program. I refer to Dr. Caroline Leaf, which is where I learned it. You know, whether you are introspective or interpersonal or visual, we all have all 7. Some of us are more visual than others, but every single human being is visual. So a confident, smart woman is going to make sure that and these are the 7 metacognitives through which we do life. It is how we learn, it's how we connect, it's how we grow, it's how we live our lives to the very end, it's how we connect. And so a smart woman is going to see visual as, oh, that's an easy one. So can I wear something that is going to have a positive impact on those around me? Oh, wow, okay, there's an easy one. Let's do that. It's some of the lowest hanging fruit in your life. You have to get up and get dressed every single day, so you may as well get good at it, right? Save your time, save your money. Learn how to build a beautiful wardrobe on a budget, customized to your body shape, your profession, your lifestyle, and also learn how to understand yourself and how to communicate on the outside the woman that is on the inside. That's why I call it Dress to Connect. It's the most powerful style strategy in the world. If you're interested, go to lindapage.com or join us at school, skool.com. It's completely free. Join the conversation. It is a very intentional community that we've been building for a long time. Women who want to get up, dress up, and be the bold light on a hill that we know we are called to be. Women who want to arise and shine. Women who maybe, and we all have been through this, maybe you've lost yourself somewhere along the way and you think, Linda, getting dressed up really is the last thing that is on my mind right now. Maybe you have lost yourself somewhere along the way. You've been taking such good care of everyone else, your marriage, your kids, your community, your business, your church, your work environment, that there's no time for you. But going back to characteristic number 5, activating her faith, it says, love your neighbor as yourself, right? So you've got to love yourself first. You've got to prioritize yourself first. If the plane is going down, they will tell you, put on your oxygen mask first and then help others. There's a reason for that. It is biblical to love and prioritize yourself, because before you get out there and go and give all of your love and your support and your encouragement and your expertise and your focus and your leadership and everything, you can't keep on giving that every day if you're not filling yourself up with that time and that grace and that power and that reflection and that vision and that focus and that self-encouragement. A confident woman loves the woman in the mirror. Remember, that was the first characteristic we started talking about. A confident woman loves the woman in the mirror. She does not criticize her body or her beauty or herself. We've all done that, and time is up for that. You need to become your own greatest encourager. So she dresses well. A confident woman dresses well because she understands that what she wears impacts her money, her mood, her marriage. It impacts absolutely everything. And it has a powerful positive impact on those around her. So she's dressing to connect, A, with the woman in the mirror, and B, with those around her. She understands the psychology and the science of color and of style, and she understands that we are wired for connection. Even the biggest introvert on the planet is wired for connection. That's why I say fashion is a powerful connector. If you are that introvert, if you do struggle to connect with others, use fashion as a connector. Look for something to compliment somebody on. It's very, very powerful. This is men and women alike. but women on women, it's the most powerful. So a confident woman dresses well. Join us, as I said. You're invited. School.com/Linda Page, or go to lindapage.com. Get in on the conversation. Get off the bench. Get back in the game. It doesn't matter what you've been through. Any kind of abuse, I have been through all of it. It doesn't matter what you're facing right now. Your circumstances do not determine your future. It doesn't matter what you think about yourself. The truth is, you are a woman. You're beautiful. You have a spirit of beauty. You are called to arise and shine. Maybe your light is feeling very dim right now. That's okay. It will never go out. Your spirit of beauty is a gift. It is a light. Maybe it's on dim, but it will never, ever go out. That is a guarantee. Characteristic number 8. A confident woman has humility. She has the humility to say sorry when she has screwed up. She has the humility to receive a compliment, because what do we do when we receive compliments as women? Oh no, this old thing, or oh, I don't know, or oh my gosh, you're looking beautiful. Oh, I just had such a tough day, or we batted away like idiots, like fools. I learned from my mentor years ago, it takes humility to receive a compliment. So simply say thank you. Or thanks so much. And if you want to, as we women do, share where you got the dress, share where you got the earrings. These are Complot.com. If you know anything about me, Complot, Konplott is my favorite accessories fashion brand, because of how versatile they are, how affordable they are, how there is something for everybody. I love big, bold statement earrings and rings, and I'm not so big on necklaces, but I wear necklaces. So a confident woman has humility, and she receives a compliment. She's not a fool who sends that word of life away. Receive the word of life. Receive the word of love over you. You know that when you pay somebody else a compliment, you're doing it with love, right? It comes with love. It better be coming with love. Don't you falsely flatter anybody. Although in negotiation, we teach how even false flattery has a positive impact, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's a lighthearted smile side of stuff. Have the humility to receive a compliment. It is so very important, because you have influence, friend. There is always somebody watching how you are either loving or criticizing your body, receiving or rejecting compliments, and whether you have the humility or not to humble yourself and ask for forgiveness when you need to ask for forgiveness. Just recently, I had a conversation with a beautiful friend of mine. I love her to bits. She's such an incredible, amazing, phenomenal powerhouse of a woman. And we both, we had a bit of a tete-a-tete, and we both said some things that were hurtful to one another. And we gave each other a little bit of time, a few days to let, the dust settle. And you know what? One of the first things that she said to me was, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for whatever. And because I said in retaliation, I said some things that were pretty harsh and pretty hurtful, because I was hurt. And it's like the first time in 3 or 4 years we've had an argument, which is amazing. I have so much love and trust and respect for her. But she's older than me. She's wiser than me. She's lived a lot more life than me. Yet she said sorry. Of course, whether or not she did, I was there to apologize as well. And so together we've built this stronger bond, this more trust and respect and love for one another, because without humility, there's not much to your heart at all, friend. You can have a lot of things going for you, but if you don't have humility, let me tell you something. Pride comes before the fall, right? So you're about to crash land, and I'm giving you a heads up, and you're welcome. Humility is so very important, and it is powerful. This conversation I had with this beautiful friend of mine, we have many things in common, and we don't agree on everything, and that's okay. But we both have powerful opinions, and we have humility, and that needs to be at the beginning and the end. It needs to bookend our friendship and our relationship, because when you screw up as a woman, you have got to take accountability. And it does not mean that you better be saying sorry for everything. I've got someone in my life, a couple of people who are like, doesn't matter what they do, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry for that. I'm like, what are you sorry for actually? You didn't do anything wrong here. And they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm just used to saying sorry. We're like, stop it. It's not helpful, and it's communicating a very negative message. like you don't know what you're doing and you have no confidence. That nobody wants to work with that. Nobody wants to marry that. Stop that. So that's the other side of it. But a confident woman has humility. We have to humble ourselves and pray for it. We have to humble ourselves and, Lord, give me a clean heart. Whether we have the same faith or not, it doesn't matter. Humble yourself and ask yourself, where in this problem did I contribute to it? Where in this situation have I exacerbated the problem? What is my role in this? Because you always have a role in that. If things are going wrong or something goes wrong, you have a role. Doesn't mean that you did it or you started, but you have a role to play. You always want to ask yourself, where is my part in this? Did I do something to exacerbate the problem, contribute to the problem, add fuel to the fire? Have humility. And if you don't see it, have the humility to ask your friend or your colleague or your boss, is there something that I'm missing? What in your experience is my contribution to this problem? It doesn't mean that you're going to agree with it, but you're asking the question because you definitely want to know. Everything starts with the heart, my friend. Your spirit of beauty, your confidence starts with the heart. And that's what a self-confident woman does. Is she will say, I'm sorry. When you screw up, you've got to say, I'm sorry. There is something I want to share with you that is important. Over many years, I was taught to say, will you forgive me? Like when I've screwed up and like, will you forgive me? Now, I know that the motivation of that teaching was very good, but it took me a while to realize, and then I heard from somebody else, that they don't say, will you forgive me? Because let's say you and I, something goes wrong and I do something to hurt you and I come and say, hey, Sandra or Jane or whatever. I'm like, hey, Jane, this happened. And I'm like, please, will you forgive me? Now, I'm putting you under pressure to forgive me because if Jane doesn't come back and say, yes, Linda, I forgive you, well, she's not quick to forgive, and we need to be quick to forgive, right? And so rather than put, I teach my kids this as well, rather than put one another under pressure, if you are sorry, just say, Jane, I am so sorry that I hurt your feelings. I hope that you will find it in your heart to forgive me. And if you want to talk about it, I'll welcome that conversation. I really and truly am sorry for what I said or what I did. Saying sorry and genuinely taking accountability is very important, and it shows your humility. And here's what I'm going to do, Jane, going forward to make sure that this doesn't happen again or to get better in this area, right? But if I say to you, hey, will you forgive me? You kind of have to say yes. Otherwise, you're showing that you're still angry and you're going to hold on to it. You're going to smolder. And that's not always helpful. So be sure not to put the other person under pressure to say, yes, I forgive you right now. That person has every right to take his or her time. And we must be quick to forgive and slow to anger. But you know what? You don't have to manage their emotions. You just manage yours. So that is characteristic number 8 on a confident woman, is that she has humility. And don't mix humility with being this timid. Humility is not timidity. Humility is not the quiet or shy. Shy is a lie. Shy is the fear of social rejection, social judgment, social disapproval. That's why I teach my kids, shy is a lie. Being introverted doesn't mean that you're shy. That's another conversation entirely. So be humble, my friend. Be bold and be humble. The two are not mutually exclusive. The last time I read, the righteous are as bold as a lion. Being confident is not being arrogant. Arrogance is a condition of the heart. So is humility is a condition of the heart. Build up that humility. Build up that confidence. Be bold. Don't look to your left and right and compete with others and compare with others and wonder what they're doing, what they're earning, what they're wearing. You get up, dress up, and be a bold light on a hill. You invest in yourself. You activate your faith. You dress well. You be humble. Those are today's characteristics of a confident woman. I hope that that's helped you. I hope that that's inspired you. If it ticked you off a little bit, oh well, so what? Suck it up, buttercup. All of us we all have to hear something someday, almost every day, but often that stings a little bit, that makes me go, oh my gosh, is that me? Do I need to spend some time on that? Do I do that? What is my part in that? It's really good to ask the question. Maybe the answer is no, I'm good, and move on, and that's cool. But we all screw up, eh? We all screw up on a regular basis, and it's important for us to know that. You make sure that you are flocking with birds of a feather, that you are in a like-minded community with women and men who are investing in themselves, who are working hard, who are being held accountable. On that note, my friend, thank you for being here. I'm going to sign off right now. That's a nice, short, sharp 35 minutes of the characteristics 5, 6, 7, and 8 of a confident woman. Join us at lindapage.com or go to school.com/LindaPage. Join the conversation because you, beautiful, are designed to arise and shine. You are called to be a bold light on a hill.